I think one of the interesting things about the Kurdish situation and about Syria in general is how quickly the Kurds and Assad actually did ally. If you've watched the war over the last 8 years, the Kurds and Assad have largely not fought each other. There isn't a great deal of the blood sort of lust or curdling animosity between the two, and it was actually pretty remarkable how quickly they came together. One of the things is we think we're doing best and we try to do the best when we insert ourselves in the Middle East, but sometimes we get unintended consequences. So we've been there and we want peace, but we refuse to allow the Kurds to talk to Assad. There's a stalemated civil war that's gone on 8 years. Had we never been involved, Assad likely would have crushed the rebellion in 6 months. Maybe 500,000 people wouldn't have died. Maybe 3 million people wouldn't have left. And you'd still have a dictator. Instead, we have 500,000 people dead, 3 million refugees, and we still have a dictator. And so I think we need to question our strategy as to what our intended goal is and what ends up happening. Syria is an utter disaster, but made no better by our intervention, the Saudis' intervention, and Qatari's intervention. There's a great deal of unknown as to whether or not the Sunni extremists that were supported by the Saudis and the Qataris, and sometimes us, would actually be more humanitarian or more for human rights than Assad is. I think we can agree that Assad has abused his people, has used chemical weapons, et cetera, but the other side were Sunni extremists allied with the ideas of radical Islam, with radical jihad, with the things that led to 9/11. So it's a very complicated situation over there, but I think that we cannot say with certainty that there will not be a deal that sticks, actually, between Assad and the Kurds. If the Kurds want a homeland and they believe Assad is staying, it makes all the sense in the world for them to work together. If Assad wants to actually protect that region of North Syria, either from Turkey or from others, and the Kurds are willing to help him do it, the Kurds have proven that they are good fighters. The Kurds would probably have to acknowledge that there is a greater Syria and that they're part of it. If they want to break off from Syria, there'll be continual war. If they're able to make an arrangement with Assad, there's a chance that there could be an oil-sharing arrangement like we have in Iraq. The bottom line is we sometimes see the world in black and white terms and think that, we can get Thomas Jefferson in Syria or in Libya or in Iraq. But what happens is time and time again, we topple a dictator, we get chaos, we get more terrorism. ISIS sprang out of the vacuum that was Iraq after a government that was incapable of doing it after we get rid of the same. Same thing happened when we got rid of Gaddafi in Libya. I think we need to rethink our approach to the Middle East.